Hello. So today we're going to be talking about the automobile sector. This workflow on our dashboard is going to be similar to the one we did for the webinar, but it's going to be a little bit different because instead of looking at Amazon in our company analysis, we're going to use group analysis to uncover what's going on in the automobile sector. So we're going to set our filters similarly to 30 days environmental in our ESG column. And then for materiality, we're going to set that to investments. So this is up until right now, this is what we did for the webinar. So during our webinar, we noticed that a lot of the companies showing up for environmental investments were in the energy and automotive space. So, as we saw in the webinar, we went with Amazon and did a company analysis on that. This time, for our content, we're going to look at these automobile companies in our group analysis. So, the last 30 days, we see Toyota, Nissan, General Motors, a lot of automotive companies here. We can even set that to 14 days and narrow it down to a tighter time frame, more recent news. And when we do that, Toyota and Nissan are still at the top, and we also see Volkswagen here too that made some interesting investments. So we're going to take off the materiality tag. Now that we know what industry we want to look at, we can just select industry group. We can select automobiles and components, and that'll show us the ESG scorecard here just for the automobile sector. So as expected, last 14 days environmental, we see a lot of volume for Nissan, Toyota, Tesla, and Volkswagen. So we can start with Toyota because that was really one of the more interesting ones. Toyota has long been a hydrogen player in Japan. They have partnerships with the Japanese government on public infrastructure, and they've stated that they do not want to be an electric vehicle player. So it was kind of surprising this week that, they says they don't offer a single battery electric model for sale. Recently, they said that they are going to be going towards electric vehicles. They're building, huge capital outlay plant in North Carolina to start producing electric vehicles. We also see that they have a partnership with a Chinese company to bring $30,000 model to market by 2022. This price point, is cheaper than Tesla, so more players moving into the space. This was really big news though because Toyota has long been against electric vehicles. For Toyota, past 14 days, the top topic for them is electric vehicles. As opposed to hydrogen, which they've been exploring up until now. And then the other interesting companies, Nissan, the Nissan Leaf is their flagship electric vehicle. It's been around for a while, and they are expanding their interesting. More news about commitments and milestones around water use. But the news for Nissan this week was really their expansion of their plant in Sunderland. They're in England, and they want to expand their capabilities and capacity to produce electric vehicles in Europe. So that was the big news for Nissan. Granting installation for new renewables at their factory to expand production. And then the last company we take a look at in the automotive space for this week is Volkswagen. Volkswagen, around this time last year, they said they're going to commit to electric vehicles. they had a 5 point plan in place where they're not only going to improve capacity, but they're committed to investing in infrastructure in the communities where they're going to be selling cars. And this is important because fossil fuels, it's not just about the vehicles; it's about the infrastructure, the gas stations, the whole whole industry around oil and fueling cars. So we see a little bit of both here from Volkswagen. They are investing in renewable energy in Sweden was one of the stories that came up. They're going to be investing in more wind and solar projects in Spain, UK, and Finland, where they have market share. So they're trying to strategically align where they're investing with where they are selling cars, which seems pretty smart. They also, have a new partnership with Vulcan Energy. It's a battery company in Australia. And then the other thing was they took out a loan from a consortium of banks, and that, yep, here it is. That loan is the interest rate is going to be tied to their performance on carbon emissions. So it's a real, commitment by them. They're raising, $2 billion, and that interest rate, the repayment is going to be based on how well they perform on carbon measures. So, they're investing in renewables in the markets they're selling in. They're expanding capacity, and now they're linking their financial instruments to performance on climate related issues. So for the last week, we set this to 14 days, but all this news was really from the last week. You can set it to 7 days and see how this scorecard looks, but I imagine it's going to look pretty similar based on what we just saw. So this is a similar type of analysis to what we did in our webinar demo. Instead of taking one company and zooming in on it with our company analysis, we stay focused on the industry group and have a more wide-reaching kind of overview of what's going on in the industry. So yeah, thank you for watching today, and we'll be sure to have more content out soon.